Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ranting Atheist podcast. Today we'll be listening to a clubhouse room discussion we had some months ago. That was in 2021. I'm not sure exactly which month, but it should be around October or so. And the room was titled, "Why Should Atheists Bother to Criticize Religion?" You know, when I first started letting people know I was an atheist, criticizing religion, so we're just like, why you people criticizing something you don't believe in now? Just you don't believe in God, keep quiet and do your day. But no, you people don't keep quiet either. Religious people don't keep their religions to themselves. But no, they are always preaching to you how you go to hellfire. They are always sneaking their ways into secular laws. They are always trying to tell you what their God says about how you should live your life, where you should put your private part, who you should have sex with, whether to have a child or not. Just basically trying to control people based on their own beliefs without any regard with the other person, whether they believe what they believe. So it was a fun discussion. People gave their different perspectives, and I learned a thing or two from the discussion. So if you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, or any other place you get podcasts from, even YouTube too. Yeah, forgot that. So please enjoy the discussion in the clubhouse room titled, "Why Should Atheists Bother to Criticize Religion?" Everybody, welcome to this room. This room is being recorded for quality assurance. It's going to be recorded and put on the Ranting Atheist podcast. So welcome to the Free Thinkers Hangout. Please follow the house, follow the mods, or follow people on the stage. Follow everybody. Today's topic: why should atheists criticize religion? Like, why can't people just keep it to yourself? Like, yes, you don't believe in God. Let us rest. I don't know who has heard that. I've heard that a lot. Like, okay, yes, we have heard you don't like God, or you don't believe in God, or you are going through a phase, whatever. Keep it to yourself. Stop disturbing us. Don't take what we have, blah, blah, blah. But, personally, why should atheists criticize religion? For me, religion likes to encroach. Religion doesn't like to mind its business. And I'm going to speak focusing on Christianity, which is the only religion I've known all my life. I never gave a fuck about Islam. So those any ex-Muslim can give us an insight from that perspective. But I'm speaking from the Christian perspective as a former Christian. First of all, the Great Commission. Go into the world and preach the gospel. So we know the year word. Hence Jehovah's Witness, and so on and so forth. But one of the reasons why we need to criticize religion, especially Christianity is very insidious. It comes off harmless, and is very good at slipping like a snake into the secular system. Laws are usually created with Christianity undertone, not religious undertone. Christianity is the backbone behind it. Kama. Christianity is the backbone behind it in most cases. If you look at Nigeria here now, the same-sex act that Jonathan signed, we know why. The Christianity in him was and I remember that time I too was also like, yes, correct, because I was still a Christian then and homophobic as fuck. So I was like, yes, good, Nigeria is not taking shit from Obama. If we even go to see Texas now, Texas is another example. This abortion, all life, it is all Christianity. Christianity is so insidious, it slips into the secular government, secular society, and you just think it's cool and hip, but yet it begins to trample on people's rights insidiously. So that is why we need to criticize religion. If you can, that's why you should bother. You have no As an atheist, you have no mandate. You can be an atheist, keep it to yourself. And the beauty of being an atheist is you are free to do what you like as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. So you can keep your own belief. You can be an unbeliever and just chill and just be laughing at Christians in your closet. But there are a lot of us who are just pissed off and we can't keep quiet and watch these people trample on people's rights, on our rights, all in the name of what the imaginary friend says. So that's what I have to say for now. All right, Toby, how you doing? You have anything to add?
Is one of such ideas. Another reason why I think atheists should bother, especially somewhere like Nigeria. Can everyone still hear me? Whose mic is on? Can everyone hear me?
Sure, I can hear you.
Hello? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Toby.
Okay, so another reason why atheists should be bothered in somewhere like Nigeria is Christianity makes it into politics. We don't see people, okay, they are like younger people who believe they are like Pisces or Capricorn or Cancer or any of those astrological signs. I don't see them picking like politicians based on, oh, this guy is a Cancer.
Is it me or you're in the Matrix?
You'll be a good
Toby, you're going on and off.
president
Toby.
or nonsense like that. Or let's make this because like it's going to be good for the Aquarius among the population. We don't see people doing that. So, but we see people making those kind of decisions. I get you.
Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you guys. Maybe you guys give me a minute to sort out my internet. I'll come back to see what I have to say.
Okay. All right. So, Ife, are you there?
I'm here.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What I have to say will be first to this. A silly notion will always be a silly notion. Right from the bat, I'm not a fan of saying that, or I don't believe in being apologetic about unbelief. Like, I don't really like, if you see me on Twitter, everybody knows I always crack jokes at the expense of religion. I don't give a fuck about it. And the reason why I am really, really, really for criticizing religion is because it is so anti-common sense. You cannot be living and existing in the age beyond enlightenment, in the information age, and you are bringing the silly notions that you hold so dear to heart, a structure that is so against facts, so against science, so against reasoning, and you just want me to take it as is. And on top of that, you now start imposing it, because at the end of the day, your sky daddy told you everybody needs to be on your side. First of all, and also the fact that it is in Nigeria in general. Sorry to be Nigerian living in Nigeria. We don't get the liberty to express ourselves. We only, hide behind keyboards and all that shit. We cannot go out and, just be in the midst of people speaking religion and all that shit. And it's crazy because given the amount of discord happening within the religion, you guys need to fix your shit. But immediately an atheist comes and says, hey, I don't believe in God, everybody is all of a sudden united, irrespective of their perspectives on whatever magical entities that they believe in. I will always say we need, I don't even believe in being apologetic about atheism. I don't give a shit about your religion. I don't believe in respecting people's religion. I'm not going to respect your silliness. I will respect you as a human being. I will respect you as a woman. I will expect you as, a as a homosexual, I will not fucking respect you. Like, the fact that you even believe to begin with already makes me want to. It makes you look a little, I don't want to say foolish, but personally, I would say that, I lose a lot of respect for people when and you find out that they believe in this shit. But it is what it is. Honestly, I don't think anybody needs to be, telling people sorry for trying to expect factual scientific facts. That's what me I believe, sure. But anyways, back to you.
Thank you very much, Ife. They don't deserve any fucking respect, man. I don't know, man. It's especially the ones who try to impose it on you. The ones who, for lack of a better term, they wave their Jesus dicks up and down. Any small thing, God this, God that. So it's what do you call it? That's atheist bait to shit on it, and they say atheists like to criticize Christianity, like on John's podcast. Okay, Toby, are you good to go? Nah, Toby is not.
Yeah, can you guys hear me better now?
Stop. Say ABC.
ABC.
Correct.
Okay, so what I said previously was, I agree with Jay Barnes that we need to criticize all ideas, and that's how we move forward as a society. We need to be able to revise our beliefs over and over and continue to polish them and leave behind the ones that are not good. And particularly, we need to criticize beliefs that have a divine mandate, or say they have a divine mandate. Maybe when somebody says something is like a fundamental law of the universe, or when people pass a sentence with that's just the way it is. Those kind of things, those kind of beliefs, we need to really pay attention to them. And religion is one of such beliefs. Another reason why atheists should be bothered about speak about religion is religion makes its way into politics very often. I said there are younger people who they believe maybe they are Aquarius, they are Cancer, or they are Capricorn, and all of that stuff. But you never see somebody say, okay, I'm going to vote this guy for president because he's a Cancer or he's an Aquarius. An Aquarius will make a good president. Nobody ever says that. But people do that based on religious sentiments. Oh, this guy is a good Christian. And we need to change that manner of thinking and make people understand that doesn't add anything. And that is one reason why, that's another reason why atheists need to be concerned about religion and speak out against it. Obviously, since Nigeria is a majority religious state, we know that we can't have our rights. It's baked into all the Abrahamic religions for you to oppress those that don't agree with you, which is very unfortunate. But the more we push back at them, the more we gain more ground. Hopefully, Nigeria stops being such a very poverty-stricken place, and then maybe things can change. The last reason why I think atheists should be bothered about religion and speak out against it is because religion is one of those ideas, as Neil deGrasse Tyson likes to call it, he calls it a philosophy of ignorance. Like, you're supposed to be really proud of your level of ignorance if you are a religious person. You're supposed to revel in it. It's like somebody trying to walk forward towards somewhere and the person is looking back. Religion always likes to look back. They are referring to ideas from several thousand years ago, or should I say a couple of thousand years ago. And they don't want to accept revisions on those ideas. I know that sometimes Christianity modifies itself, but there are basic tenets within it that are they are not correct, or they are not ethical anymore to believe in. And so those things are one of the most primary reasons why we should criticize religion, because Christianity especially doesn't respect human beings at all. We're just like God's dildos. So We didn't need to go after it and just criticize it. So Christians can look at themselves with more self-respect. And even if they don't want to, they know that, okay, this idea is something that it should not exceed my compound. All those entry side boss are feeling like Jesus is standing on your back, so nobody can shout you down. When we speak out against these things, they will not do those things or feel like they have the right to do those things in the way that they do. All of the respect we're supposed to give to ourselves as human beings, we have carried over 70% of them, of the respect, and giving it to God through his ambassadors, all those old Yahoo boys that collect money from people on Sunday. So essentially, these are the reasons that we need to criticize, even just for economic reasons. We just need to criticize the religion so that people can have better things to spend their money on rather than giving them. If they give 10% of their money to charitable causes, we know where we are in this country. As opposed to giving it to people that are using it. Anyways, yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toby. Yeah, one other reason to criticize religion is so that people can take responsibility for their actions and inactions. When people, small thing will happen, it is well. God will do it. Okay, let me go and pray. Night vigil. Or in the case of Orisha, let me go and do one sacrifice. No, do not take responsibility for their action. That's one of the many problems of religion and why we need to criticize it, so that you know that if I fuck up, now me fuck up. If I do well, I worked for it. So, Kama, Alpha, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why should atheists bother criticizing religion? It's inevitable, really, because it still happened to me just on Saturday or Friday. That was just having a conversation, just a normal conversation about my times at the university. So I was talking about something that happened that if I had believed in a God, I would have thought it's a God that did it. So, and then somebody was now like, well, I'm out of this conversation immediately. And then he stood up and then he walked away. So even though what I said to me is not harmful to anyone, all I said was, okay, this also thing happened though. So if I had believed in a God, I would have thought it's God's doing, but because I know it's my hard work. And then he walked away. So my point is, I was just having a conversation, saying what I think, and then he just came up with his own bigotry. So when I tend to talk about this kind of things, I try not to be a bigot also by trying to say everybody that doesn't have my kind of opinion are foolish or stupid or dumb. I try my best to be like, okay, maybe they're also going through a phase, but I would not say it out. It's just something I would think in my head. So my point is, I want to try to make them feel comfortable around me. And if they have this kind of mentality that I have, so they'll be able to listen to me every once in a while and maybe see the angle I'm coming from and see reasons why I don't believe in an imaginary sky dad. So there are lots of reasons why you can't just ignore not criticizing religion, because we have my mom, for example. She has never been a mom to me my entire life. Like she barely exists. The only reason she's a mom is because she gave birth to me. Apart from that, nothing. Like I don't even know how her food tastes like. This woman is supposed to be a deaconess, and then she's supposed to be a born again Christian, everything, and then never for once has God told her that she has not been the best mom. And then here she would come all of a sudden, when I'm a grown-ass man now, I can stand on my own 2 feet, I'm done with school, I've been working for at least 3 years now and all that. All of a sudden, boom, now want to be my friend, and then you now be telling me every once in a while that you call me or text me, telling me all those you progress in your life in Jesus' name, blah blah blah. So all those negligence, all those years should just I should just give you like an handout, and you just go away like that. All your responsibility when it matters the most, all everything is gone, and I'm supposed to just give you a free ride. It doesn't work that way with me. Like you said, ranting atheist, you said that that no accountability is something I can't stand. They tend not to hold accountable for anything, or they tend to tell you to forgive and forget. Like the person they are telling you to forgive and forget does not even understand what they've done wrong. What they know is that whatever, just forgive and forget. Because if I want to forgive somebody, for example, I have to be sure that the person knows what I'm forgiving the person for. Like the person have come to me, apologize, tell me what tell me what he or she is apologizing for. Like, okay, I'm sorry, I know I've been like this. I just realized that, yeah, it could have gone this way. Like, explain why you're apologizing, not just accepting to just say, well, yeah, she's your mom or he's your brother. Just have to let go, because they're going to do it again. So religions are really the reasons why people just think should not go the realistic way, which is to apologize, make somebody understand what they've done wrong, and then you now work towards it. Not like you just apologize and I don't see any change in you. Okay, I think I'll just stop there for now.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing that story, Kama. It's exactly what he said. It doesn't make them take responsibility. Like now, you see somebody born again, but they are still fucking assholes. They were assholes before they were born again. I always ask that question that I was like, why is it that these pastors, they see they thief money, even with all it's the human nature. Their believe that, okay, if I mess up, God forgive me. You see someone wants to abuse somebody, and I say, God forgive me, then you abuse the person, God forgive me. It's like your God is just a fucking bitch. Like, you can wipe your slate clean at any time. That's the lack of responsibility. You want to abuse this person because it's how you feel, but because you want to look good, like you don't want to say they really abuse the person, is God forgive me. So those are the little things you see in everyday behavior of lack of accountability. Say, yes, I called this guy a bastard, not God forgive me. After I say, you say it with your full chest. Accountability. And religion hates accountability with passion. If you go to the Catholic Church, you can see the priests, molestation left, right, and center. Accountability. They will not take the whole, from Pope downwards, the whole racket, the bloody racket in that whole Vatican system. So, John, you're next.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, a lot of the things I wanted to talk about have been said already, but I'll just try to maybe state them in my own way again, if that makes any sense. So why should atheists bother to criticize religion? First of all, I think beliefs inform actions. So this is not just religion. This is like beliefs generally. Like your actions are informed by your beliefs. So if you have certain beliefs that maybe they like make you do things that harm yourself or harm others, I think it is a good or reasonable thing to try to change your mind about those beliefs, or at least criticize the beliefs so that other people are not going to pick them up. So that is one very good reason. For instance, now you see the way there are certain religions that say very negative things about people of other groups, maybe people that are non-believers, people that are of other religion and things like that. And you see this thing in the way people that follow these religions treat these people. So of course it's going to make sense to criticize the beliefs because of that reason. If you want to pick, you could pick example of something like Christianity. Now, if you look at this idea in Romans 1, where Paul is saying. Paul is basically saying everybody deep down knows that there's a God, and anybody that and whoever doesn't worship God or whatever is just the person is just choosing to ignore the knowledge that they have because they want to sin or whatever. That passage is a very problematic one because it makes interactions between certain type of Christians and atheists like us. It makes those interactions very difficult because you see where I'm talking to someone and I am saying, this is why I no longer believe this stuff. This is why I no longer believe this stuff. And it's like I'm talking to a wall. The person is not even the person is not listening to what I'm saying, and the person is just saying things like, no, you just want to sin. The problem is your pride and blah blah blah. And of course, that person is like the person is not taking me as a credible source because you are not even listening to my own words. So that is a case where your beliefs is your belief has informed how you are treating other people. So that is just one thing. Another one is that if you look at the history of humanity generally, you see that we have been increasing in our knowledge. Like we continue to learn new things. We are not omniscient, of course, but we continue to like understand the world around us better. And what religion does, because a lot of the religions that we have today, especially the Abrahamic ones, they are like from a very ancient time. And if you go back to that time, there are so many things that we know today that those people didn't know back then. So if you think of it very well, the whole idea of like taking the words of this type of people that lived at a very ancient time to be like the ultimate authority in your life and the ultimate authority in how we should live our lives today, and to the point of even making laws and doing your political actions on this so-called divine text. If you think of it from that perspective, it's really scary because what you have is that you have something that we shouldn't even like, it's something that we shouldn't even be thinking about, or because of the knowledge we have today. But you have people clinging on to these things, like they don't want to change their minds. They want to like say, oh no, my Bible says this and this is what we are going to do. And that is the type of problem that type of thinking leads to. So that is another reason why we need to like criticize religion. That's one very big reason. And when I say religion, of course I'm talking about in a general sense, but there are some religions that what I'm saying applies to more than others. So let's just keep that in mind. And the last reason I'm going to give is that when you hold certain beliefs that like you have to like suspend your critical thinking, like certain beliefs that don't encourage you to think critically, you get used to not thinking in a very rational way, and that could affect other areas of your life. So of course, if we are going to live if we are going to live as a society, we're going to be productive and all that, I think it's very important for us to like encourage critical thinking. So when we have beliefs that is antithetical to that goal of encouraging critical thinking, I just think it is really, really important and it is worth it to criticize those beliefs. And although a lot of times I do I do get tired of criticizing these beliefs. Like there are some times that I would see something on maybe Twitter and I would want to speak against it, but I would just feel over, like I'll just be like, what's even the point? But all these things that I've just said, like it is what makes me, it's what keeps me going, and it's what keeps like letting me know that okay, actually criticizing this thing is important. It's not pointless. And yeah, sorry, I just remembered one more thing, one more very important thing. If you go to the religious circle, there are members of these religions that are in their questioning phase, and they are beginning to like, a lot of things don't no longer like no longer make sense to them, and they can't express themselves, and many times they even begin to feel like okay, maybe they are crazy or something is wrong with them, or maybe
The
there
devil.
is sin in their life or whatever, and they begin to judge themselves. Yeah, so criticizing um people like us criticizing religions is we sort of create an opportunity for those people to see that okay, I'm not crazy. I'm actually thinking well. It's not just me. There are a lot of people out there that have experienced what I've experienced, and even though these people are going to like say I'm the crazy one and all that, it's not really true. It's I'm just thinking like a normal human being, and that is where I'll leave it. Thank you very much.
Well said. Well said. And that reason you just made exactly why I started my podcast. Because if the content that I saw on YouTube wasn't done by somebody, I'm not sure I would have had the courage to go forward. I would have not discovered Genesis chapter 38 for the horror that it is. So that is one big reason, for empathy's sake, for those who are questioning, to get to the realization by themselves. All we just do is provide another perspective, and they will go ahead and follow the thread and research and find the answers for themselves. No preaching, no stop believing in Jesus, no preaching like Christians do with their Great Commission bullshit. So, Israel, Alpha.
Yeah, hi.
They're right.
To answer the question, I think for me, I don't know, I think criticizing stuff is fun. And I know how privileged that statement is, but why I say this is because I think criticism of anyone, whether religion or of anything, tends to make someone better. Like if you're someone who is open to learning, it kind of makes you realize, okay, this thing is flawed, and how you can address it, that kind of stuff. But that's just a minor and personal point for me. But for me, why I think generally it should be religion, especially the two major religions in Nigeria, should be criticized, because I think at the core of both of these religions, they are very anti-human. Like, it's kind of weird when we're living in this age and we're debating or arguing with people about why they shouldn't circumcise the genitals of children and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at the way we treat children or women or in marriages or in society as a whole, it doesn't, it's very you can tell we're not taking the considerations of these people into our decision making process. I mean, we're all on Twitter. I think some of us are on Twitter here. We know how we get when we tell people that maybe they shouldn't, beat their kids and stuff like that. And the visceral reactions you get are just really surprising, because why are you hoping to inflict harm on your child? If there's another way for you to raise your child or to address a fundamental problem they have without harming them, shouldn't you seek that out instead of holding on to the traditional ways of doing things? And for me personally, I think this is my own gripe with religion. The two major religions in Nigeria, they're just really, I don't know what other word to use, but they're really frustrating when it comes to dealing with humans. And I can tell you, when I've debating with religious people or arguing with them and they say things like, I'm a humanist, I just want to punch the air or roll my eyes, because I mean, anyone who has read the Bible knows that this thing isn't humanist and whatever. I mean, how do you want to tell me the most powerful being in all of creation thought the best way to solve humanity's problem was to create a human being and torture this human being for a few hours and then kill him? That doesn't sound like the best use of his powers. It doesn't sound like someone who cares about humans. I think Toby mentioned the fact that we're all just like dildos to this kind of person. And I won't even say we're dildos. I mean, dildos are pleasurable. We're just like ants or something that this person can just step on whenever they feel like why men has to them or something. It doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's human degradation at its best, or shall I say at its worst. It doesn't glorify the best aspects of humanity, for me, in my opinion. It's religion is basically the biggest fuck you to humanity. It's like saying you're not shit. I don't know, it's too stupid. I don't know what other word to use. And lastly, I think John said it's one other reason why it's nice to criticize is also it helps you know you're not alone, because I remember when I came out as an atheist to my parents. I think I went on YouTube and came across Calls Me Skeptic, and I came on Twitter and started interacting with people like GD and Ranting and John and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to like know you're not alone. It's like that time when you're in secondary school and maybe you come to class and you're like, I didn't do my assignment, and someone says, "Oh, me too." That feeling you get that you're not the only one who did something, that that the rest of the class did is kind of the same feeling I get when I encounter other atheists online or in person. But yeah, that's just all I have to say on it.
Thank you very much, Israel. Yes, so we criticize so we know we are not alone. Let me see. Onyeka, yeah. Yeah, next.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi,
fine.
everyone.
So,
Hey, Maggie. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. So this topic, why should atheists bother criticizing religion? And when I first heard this topic, the first experience that came to my mind was when I think this was around 6 years ago. I attended a church service, and this pastor was saying something like, if you are too smart, or if you are too intelligent, that the ways of the Lord are not for you, that you have to be stupid to enjoy the things of God. And I was like, even though I was still a Christian then, it still somehow sounded weird to me. And that was when I think my questioning phase started. So one of the reasons why I feel we should keep criticizing religion is that I think religious people are still stuck in their ancient methodology or ways of doing things, from the way they treat homosexuals to this Bible passage that says, spare the rod and spare the child, or whatever. I think that some Bible passages just give religious people the right to do whatever they want to people, even though it enforces hypocrisy and all that. Another reason I think it causes people to stop critical thinking. Because whenever you believe in the Bible, you won't. I don't know how people believe in this sort of thing, and they switch from critical thinking to magical thinking. Any small thing, if you see a Christian, they will say, God go do am. Even the lazy ones, God go do am, God go do am. What is God doing? You're not thinking for yourself. You're not doing anything. You're not working. You just say God go do am. And it leads to laziness. That's why we have pastors that are just promising people heaven and earth. Was it not last 4 or 5 years ago, I went to one service. I was Anglican rather. I went to one service, and this reverend came out and was like, if you know you want to buy your land, or you want to buy a piece of land this year, come outside now and sow a seed of 10,000, 15,000. And I was seeing secondary school students coming out to put 10,000 because of land. And I was like, yeah. You see this magical thinking that religion has on people. It's quite strong. So we should keep criticizing, because what of slavery? Slavery. Some people actually. I was talking with one guy, and I was telling him how bad slavery is, and he was saying he actually said slavery was quite good. That without slavery, we would not have education in Africa. Seriously, he was saying if his grandfather or his ancestor was enslaved, he probably would be an African American. That Nigeria was too tired and all that. I say, my guy, people died in slavery. So you see, this religion thing, the choke.
Serious one.
So we should keep criticizing. We should keep criticizing because it's not easy. I think I'm done now.
Nice one. Thank you very much. How somebody with just slavery. Now, wow. Religion has done a number on people, man. Okay, who's next? Adebukola, Alpha, how you doing?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, why should atheists bother criticizing? Why should it still bother? We have to. Yeah, I don't know. It's quite tempting. It's quite tempting to shake religious people's faith. You know, sometimes you just look at some things, you will be like, "What's wrong with these people? Let me just talk." Let me just talk, because after all, religion is irrational. I don't know, anybody can. We've been saying that religion is irrational. It doesn't. It doesn't include logic and all this. Because I don't know how anyone can find comfort in a God that will allow billions of people, including children, to die in agony, pain of a disease such as skin cancer, that they get from the sun that was created by this all loving God. So it's from without one self, you have to criticize, because they will still come to you. You know, these people will still come to you and try to make this God look good. They'll try to they'll still come to defend their God. Me, I don't think we should stop criticizing, although it's tiring sometimes, because some people, they'll just keep on going in their dumbness, and you just be there and be like, what kind of, why did I find myself in this kind of situation? You know, yeah, sometimes I get into argument with some theists, and at the end of the day, I'll tell them that the more I'm arguing, you are reducing my IQ. You're just reducing my IQ, and it's not helping this. I'll just have to allow you to go. So, why should atheists bother? Of course, we should bother criticizing religion. It has done many bad and good. Tomorrow is Independence Day. People will still come to you and tell the people, our governments, they'll still come and tell us that we should pray for Nigeria. They've been praying for Nigeria, and they still see that this prayer is not working. Many of my friends they are there on my WhatsApp telling us that nobody should wish them happy Independence Day, but they are not saying that nobody should pray for Nigeria, but they should do action. They will not see that one. I will still continue criticizing religion until I'm tired. Maybe until I'm tired. But for now, I don't think we should. If you don't want to do it, the beautiful thing about atheism is that you're not committed to do it. You don't have to. You don't have to criticize. It is your choice. If you want to do it, go ahead. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. But for me, if I have the opportunity to criticize, I criticize. If I have the opportunity to be in an argument, I'll be there till I'm tired. I will leave you. I'll still come back. So we should not bother to criticize. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. It's not like you are not in a religion where you have to. If you not do evangelism, you'll be afraid you are going to hell. Atheism is not like that. If you want to do it, fine. If you see that it's necessary, you do it, and if you don't want to do it, it's fine. So we shouldn't bother about us not criticizing. We can criticize religion as far as we can. I'm going to use my mic. Thank you, Ranting.
Thank you very much, Adebukola. Yes, so criticize as you want. So up next, Apostates. You're welcome. Are you there? Apostate Africa. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Right. A few things. Well, first of all, if the very fact that you have to ask the question, should we criticize religion, to me, is the reason why we should criticize religion. Right? Show me who you can criticize, and I will tell you who's oppressed. right? That's the first point. There was also the gentleman that spoke before. I think it was Onyeka that was talking about critical thinking. The problem with religion is that it encourages magical thinking. It encourages people to think that there is some magical force that will either give you good fortune or good luck or wherever it is, and you're not relying on your own effort. You're not relying on the acquisition of knowledge, right? And for me, that is something that I think is actually valuable. I mean, just to point out as well, the whole thing where we say, oh, anybody who is thinking about buying land, come and plant a seed. I actually think that, just a bit of commentary, I think that was particularly, it was exploitative, because the pastor knew that people who are thinking about buying land probably are the people that are saving money, right? So he then said, oh, come and plant a seed. There is also the aspect of it where religions encourage people to basically give them their money, their time, their lives, right? You know what I mean? In a way that is not necessarily beneficial to the individual, right? And when things like that happen, you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I actually spending this amount of effort on money or you know what I mean? So yeah, so the very fact that religion has taken control of so many people's minds, and so many people, they basically, when they're making any decision, and they sort of, oh, we have to pray about this, we have to, you know, we can't do anything until we said a prayer, right? They basically completely sort of remove responsibility from themselves and try and give responsibility to some invisible man in the sky. I think the very fact that you're asking, should we criticize religion, to me says, yes, absolutely, we need to criticize religion. If we're not allowed to criticize it, then we have no effect, we have no influence, we have no way of changing things, we have no way of shaping our future. So that's kind of my initial thoughts on the matter anyway, that whether or not we should criticize religion. Absolutely, definitely, 100%.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much, Apostate.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Apostate.
All right, so up next is Route. Are you there?
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, are you there?
So, why should atheists bother criticizing religion? Like, these religious people spend their whole lives talking about non-believers and how they will go to hell, how they are devils incarnate and yada yada, whatever they talk about. And then you expect us that don't believe in their fairy tales not to talk about them. Come on now, you have to call them to their bullshit. I think, yes, this week I saw a post someone sent a post to one group chat I was in. I told Cross John about it. So he said this parents killed their son for being stubborn. They killed their 28-year-old son for being stubborn. And when the guy sent it to me, there was the guy that posted it on Instagram. He screenshotted the comment section, and then in the comment section, one guy was like, yes, it is written in the Bible, Deuteronomy 21, chapter 21, verse 18 to 21 here, that if you have a stubborn child, bring him to the city and stone him to death, you get. So when he sent that to me, I was like, okay, so what's the problem? Didn't Bible justify the person's action? Is Bible not the most holy book in the world? Is it not the truth and the whatever you guys call it? And then the guy was like, no, this is wrong. This doesn't make sense. That how will the Bible say such thing? And then no, maybe the person that committed the whole killing, maybe they misinterpreted. I was like, what else could this thing mean? You get? So I was putting him in the position where you say your Bible is this, and now you are seeing this happening, and then somebody is actually doing what the Bible said, and now it doesn't make sense to you again. So what do you think about it? So the guy was like, he was really speechless. He didn't know what to say about it. So these are the reasons. These are the kind of reasons why we should criticize this stuff, because these guys would not want to think logically. Like, you need to have critical thinking in everything you do. Imagine doing something now and it's not going well for you, and then you are there sitting down and saying God is going to do it. Nigga, nobody's going to come and do it for you. Stand up and run your stuff for yourself. Don't wait for any motherfucker. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He has never given a fuck about you, because if he does, your life wouldn't be like this. Even, okay, let's forget yourself. Like, there are people dying, there are people going through hell, and then you think somebody making you wake up the next morning, or somebody making you find your car key is there protecting you. Come on, that's a very stupid thing to think about, man. So atheists criticizing religion, or more, we have to do it though. We have to fucking do it. And I like engaging them in conversations nowadays, because everything they say doesn't make sense. They don't say anything useful. They just say stupid things, and then I'm sorry for calling them stupid, but yeah, somehow, sometimes, most times, they're always nonsense. They don't actually.
Some of them are stupid, then.
You get. So when I hear things like that, if I'm having conversations with them, I try to use things from the Bible to have conversations with them. And then they start going through the whole, the interpretation is this, the interpretation is that. Nigga, if a Catholic has another interpretation for this, a Pentecostal has another interpretation for this, a Calvinist has another interpretation for this, please tell me, how should I buy your this thing? It's like me coming to a shop now, and then I want to buy a shoe, and the three sales people inside the shop, they are saying different things about the particular shoe, and then the three different things they are saying is contradicting the whatever. And then you expect me to buy the shoe? No, now you guys are saying rubbish. Now you guys should be on the same line, and then yes, I know you guys are saying stuff that makes sense. That's just exactly what religion is about. And man, we go criticize them more. Guys call them to their bullshit that this is not consistent. This is contradicting this one. This is not how it should be. This one is this. Your God is a messed up person. Your God is a very stupid human being. Shit, you get. Anyways, let me make a no vex for this God. That's all I have to say, Sha. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. You reached me person parada. And that's the young dust. Up next, Abolaji.
Yeah, so should atheists bother criticizing religion? Yeah, definitely. Why not? Religion is not immune from criticism. I think in any sane society, nothing should be immune or protected from criticism. Even though when you do that, in this part of the world, religious people see you as crazy, and they call you a sinner. They see you as weird and mad, maybe something, maybe like you're mental or something. They attribute it to craziness or being mad or something like that. So, but what I personally do is, along with criticizing religion, I also try to empathize with them, because when you see things from their perspective, and when you also realize that you were also like that, because most of us, we grew up believing in this sky god, and so child indoctrination, and that is why it has been passed from generation to generation. It is child indoctrination. Imagine, giving birth to a child, and then you raise them in an environment that tells them all these ridiculous things. There's no way children develop by studying the environments. If you raise a child in a secular environment, he or she is going to grow up, having secular values. If you raise a child in, let's say, India, as a Buddhist parent, he or she is going to grow up as a Buddhist. If you raise a child in Saudi Arabia as a Muslim, he or she is going to grow up as a Muslim. So it's the environment always impacts. It always impacts our people. It always it shapes our beliefs. It shapes our lives. But some people, maybe due to their own personal curiosity, tend to ask for more. They want to know more. They really want to get to the root of things. They ask questions. They're not just satisfied with, what they're being told all their lives. They've gotten to that level where they just want to know the truth. They just want to confirm things for themselves. They want to ask critical questions. I think that's when someone gets to that point. I think that is when you get on the path of, being an atheist or an agnostic or something like that. Because when you employ critical thinking, there's no way you wouldn't realize that religion is bullshit. Like, it's bullshit. But I see religion as a phase of human evolution. Like, even as much as we are an intelligent species, we are still primitive. We might be the most intelligent species on Earth, but we are still primitive in some kind of way. We are still animals. So, like, our intelligence is only relative. We are the most intelligent on Earth, but it's only relative. So when you look at it from that perspective, that we are still primitive, like, like, it was the phase of our evolution. We were trying to understand our world, why things happen, and it evolved. Religion evolved out of that, but we are still evolving, and it's a continuous process. And now we are in the information age. We know better about our world. We can explain something. Science helps us explain a lot of, like, phenomena about our world and our universe. We know a lot of things, a lot of myths, a lot of bullshit that religions say. We know we found them not to be true. Like, the sun revolves around the earth, and all like that have been, like, debunked by science and all that. We know the earth is just one planet out of, like, billions, gazillions in the universe. Like, the earth is just like, when you compare the earth to, like, relatively, it's like a grain of sand. It's a single grain of sand in, like, a beach. I don't know. It's it's more vast than that. But so my point is that I try to, like, empathize with religious people, because when you criticize religion, their cognitive dissonance kicks in. Like, their defense mechanism. They want to attack you. Because they see you as as an alien, as strange. Like, oh, how could someone, what they've grew up believing in all their lives, what they've been told all their lives, and someone, they just find it a lot very strange. They look at you as crazy. I've had this experience. Or they look at you as crazy. Even people that are very close to you, they think maybe something is wrong with you. You understand? But and another thing is that I think a lot of people actually, they think this true, but naturally humans are naturally scared of the unknown. We like they are we humans we are naturally afraid of the unknown. So people would say, okay, I would rather be on the safe path and believe this thing, and when I die, I won't go to hell, than just trashing it, and then when I die, I'm gonna regret. Some people have that fear in their mind, even though it still doesn't make sense. But they just want to follow what's popular. And I say popularity doesn't always equal truth or authenticity. It's not the same. I mean, like, slavery was popular back in the days, doesn't mean it's right or something. So, and I think the problem we have in Africa is religion is one of the major problems we have in Africa, because religion affects the human mindset. The mindset you have as a religious person, it's very, a religious person would look up to God, to their God, to save them, to solve their problems. They are not accountable to themselves. They're not accountable to, like, what are the actions? Like, everything, it's all about, like, prayers and all those, like, mythical beliefs. Like in Nigeria now, pray. They say pray, 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 pray. We've been praying since 1960, and look at where we are today. And when you ask yourself, why is it that nations that that their values are based on rationality and scientific fact progress in the world? It is fact. It is fact. The most religious countries tend to be the least developed, and the struggling ones It's a fact because it's the mindset of the people. It's the mindset of the people. Most Nigerians have this mindset that a God is going to come save them someday. He's gonna solve all their problems someday. And it's one of the reasons why we are still here today. The mindset, religion, the mindset is creating people, and then the division aspect as well. Religion causes division. Like I would say, it's the most divisive thing in humanity. It's what divides humanity the most. Because even within these religions, like the Abrahamic religions, like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, for example, they still have like sections and sects, and the ambiguity. Some Muslims will call themselves like Shia, some will call themselves Tijan, all these names. Christians as well. You have different sects like Pentecostal, Anglican, Catholic. This only proves that this thing is like it's human made. That explains the ambiguity, because it's human made. So all this. So along the way, there are innovations where people say, okay, we can do it this way too. We can do it this way. That's where they divert. And then we have many different things. So I would say it is great. It is we should criticize religion because of the harmful, the negative impact it has on humanity. Because I mean, we are a complex being. Humans are a complex species.
Yeah.
If not, because look at us. Look at how technologically advanced we are in this information age, and what we know about the universe, the galaxies. If you have a telescope, you could literally just take a view to the sky, and you're going to see planets for yourself. You can see it. It is factual. But this religious text only tells you about Earth that was created by a God, and Adam and Eve, something they had an apple and then they were banished. All these bullshit stories. And like the heads, like the center of the universe, something. When you look at the heads from the perspective of the universe, it's it's nothing compared to like a grain of sand or salt.
Yeah, but you round up, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So of course, why shouldn't we criticize religion? We should criticize religion because it's because of the harmful impact it has. But while we are criticizing religion, we should also empathize with religious people, because someone is religious doesn't mean they are stupid or something. Because it is difficult for you to grow up believing in something, and it's just the basic thing is that our environment shapes us. So while we are criticizing religion, we should also empathize with them, and we should try to like relate with them and not just be bigots ourselves. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Abolaji. Many really make sense. Many good points you dropped. So up next now is Joe. Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
Yeah,
Good evening.
welcome.
Bolaji touched on so many things I want to say, but I think it's not just a question of criticizing religion. I think we also have to challenge them. You have to challenge religion, because religion is based on so many falsehoods, and we have to look at one of the things that Bolaji touched on as well was how religion came about in the first place. And religion was basically a way of, religion served two purposes. Historically, it's always served these two purposes. One is to explain things that we didn't have the technology or knowledge to explain about our environment and about we ourselves as human beings. So religion was a sort of gap filler. And also religion was also the most powerful political tool that has ever existed in humankind. Whoever controls God controls the people. Every monarchy in the history of this world has either described themselves as coming from heaven or being appointed by God. So when you challenge somebody who controls religion, they can always have the fallback position of, you are not challenging me as a human being, you are challenging God, so you better watch yourself. and the consequences of challenging God, we can see from religious scriptures, whatever, the Abrahamic religions, I suppose, are the ones we know, that you challenge God, you are finished. You have no future. Even after you die, you are still going to be punished. And another aspect of religion as well, on the power thing, is that religion was also made for the poor, in that the rich people, and if you go back historically, were always very few in number. Still today, are still very few in number. So religion gave a mechanism that you could tell the poor that, don't worry, you're suffering now, but when you die, all the treasures and this thing, as long as you behave yourself in this life, don't challenge me, don't come and kill me and take my money. When you die, you're going to have all your riches in heaven. So it was a way of the rich protecting themselves as well. I think the thing on challenging and the gap filling, one thing I always challenge religious people on is that, okay, people say God, God. I said, you know that epilepsy was always seen as demonic possession until we actually had the scientific tools to explain how epilepsy came about. We understand what epilepsy is. We understand how the body works. There's so many things that have been dismantled that are religious. And really, I think, I can't remember if it was about religion. Religion also provides people with comfort in that you don't have to think about things, The religious people just say, oh, don't worry, God will take care of this, God will take care of that. And when people don't understand the deep concepts of something, then they say, okay, it's taken care of by God. You also have to look in the context that the earth has been around for, about 4 billion years. We as human beings have only really been here for about 300,000 years. So we literally don't know anything about our environment. So religion brought this mechanism that we could just say, okay, well, it's God. So we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to think about it. But every day that's being dismantled, and what about you was talking about in terms of scale, the Earth's place in the universe. There are actually more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on the Earth. So you can imagine how uncountable the number of grains of sand we are. That is how insignificant we are in terms of the universal scale. But in terms of, we should always criticize, but we don't just criticize religion, challenge it. You look at the history of religion, look at how religion came about. Look at, if you want to take the Abrahamic religion, look at the history of where they came from. Take Christianity, which is, and Islam. The whole reason why Christianity and Islam are in Nigeria because of effectively colonization and slavery. Islam came through the Arabic slavery and trade as well through to West Africa. Colonization was what brought Christianity. And how the colonizers came with Christianity was we already had religious practices. But they said the whole point of bringing Christianity was that, well, you have your beliefs, but our white Jesus is above whatever you believe in. And the subliminal message was to tell us that, well, we as white people are better than you as well, because our God is better than your God. And this thing was constantly drummed into us to the point where originally all the schools were missionary schools. So what they taught children was that if you wanted to come to school on Monday, you had to understand and be able to answer any questions that were asked to you about what happened in church on Sunday. So for children who wanted to get an education, you had to go to church on Sunday and pay attention to what was being said. And this indoctrination was continuing until it became second nature. So if you couldn't answer the questions on Monday about what was happening in church on Sunday, what the lecture, the reading, the preacher said on this, that, then they told you to get out of the school. So it forced us into that thing that this thing, it was constantly drummed into us. And people seem to have, certainly forgotten the history of how we came about these religions that have nothing to do with us. And as Abolaji said, your religion is simply a result of the accident of birth. If you are born in a Hindu family, you become Hindu. You are born in a Muslim family, you become Muslim. So it's not something that is inherently true. So what I do is I keep challenging them all the time. Even if you look at the religious texts, the Bible can be so deconstructed from beginning to end. It just doesn't make sense. So we have to keep not just criticize, but challenge as well, and force people to think. Because religion, one of the key characteristic of religion is it tries to tell you not to think, just accept, have faith. I said, faith has to be based on something. Like one thing I always tell people is, when people start telling me, oh, when you die, you meet God, what are you going to do if you face God? I say I will kick him in the balls, because how can you have a situation where
God get funnies?
yeah, if I die and there's a God, I will kick him in the balls, because basic things. God is supposed to be benevolent and everything. About 20,000 children die in the world, of age 5 and younger, die in the world every single day. So what sort of God will let, and we can accept that, okay, even if we say the concept of sin is true, okay, a child of 5 and younger, very, very unlikely to have the mental capacity to consciously be evil. So this God that you're saying is so benevolent is letting these children die, and people can't challenge. Another thing I challenge them is, when your child is sick, do you go to hospital or do you go to church? So the mere fact that you go to hospital means you don't believe in the power of what you keep saying you believe. Because the church is not going to heal you or your child. You go to hospital where somebody has gone to school, he's read his books, he's passed his exams, so he knows what he's talking about. When you want to invest your money, you don't go to give to the pastor. Well, actually, we seem to have gone into a situation where we do give money to the pastor. But you find an investment specialist or an accountant. Sorry?
30 more seconds.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the basic message is, criticize it, but challenge as well. And challenge them, there's so many things that religion cannot answer, and you challenge them on that, and we just, of course, we'll become defensive and always fall back to, but anything that practically everything can be challenged about any religion. So you challenge it. That's what I have to say. I rest the mic.
Thank you very much, Joe. Great points there. So we have 3 more people left, but before we go on, this is the Free Thinkers Hangout. If you are not following the house, please follow the house. We do our best to make rooms like this every now and then to discuss different matters on free thoughts and how to think critically. Follow the speakers on stage if you like. Follow who you like. Check people's profile out and link up. Let's mix with each other. So who's next now? Bright, are you there?
Yeah.
How far?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right now. So what do you have for us concerning the topic?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm asked, why shouldn't we?
Hold on, Bright. You are kind of muffled.
Why
we can't
criticize them?
we can't hear you very. It's like you're muffled, so we can't hear you. Maybe you remove your using the earpiece. Maybe you speak directly.
I think it's because my network. I'm having poor connection here.
Maybe you go leave the room and come back, so that because you are going in and out too. Sure you get.
Okay.
All right, we'll come back to you. All right, up next is Azili. You're welcome. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. So, I have come to realize that a lot of religious people are not aware that there is another way to be. Today I had a conversation with a priest who didn't know what an atheist was.
Wow.
I mean, this really shocked me because first of all, if it was a pastor, I would be fine, okay, because anybody could be a pastor. But a priest, generally, you would need training to become a priest, And I figured if somebody, if it's possible for, go away. Sorry, you guys, I'm getting interrupted. If it's possible for an entire priest with all the training required to be a priest to be unaware that atheists exist, then what about, the flock and all of that? So I noticed this verse where they say, only a fool says in their heart that there's no God. When they say fool in that sense, they're not even talking about people who don't believe in God at all. They're talking about people who don't believe in Yahweh, people from other religions and whatnot. But for people who generally just don't believe in God, they struggle to get their minds around it. And so, for this reason, I consider criticism of religion, or like just simply existing openly as an atheist, necessary for just visibility's sake. Let people know that, it's possible to be outside of this box that they have been taught. But the other reason I have is based off my own journey out of religion. The function of early indoctrination is to get people to believe anything you say. So they reinforce from your formative years that you are not allowed to question anything. Basically, whatever they tell you, that's what it is. And you grow up to be like that. Somebody said something about how Christians read the Bible. Now I'm focusing on Christianity because that's what I know. She pointed out that one goes to church, pastor says open to so and so, pastor reads, gives their own interpretation, and encourages you to go and read further on your own. And by the time you're reading on your own, you generally already have the pastor's interpretation in your head as a base. And everything from there is just easy going. You don't think too much about anything. Now, me, I didn't read anything after church, but I had the privilege of parents who weren't particularly religious, and they were all about thinking things through and forming your own opinions. But as a child, you don't want to do all that. It's too much mental work. It's easy to just ignore the discomfort of the stories that you're hearing and take things at face value. But if not for people who openly criticized the religion, the things that I was told, I may not have had as much encouragement as I did to question to the extent that I did. Now, even as an atheist, I'm a lazy atheist. I don't do much unprovoked research. I follow conversations I come across and, just go from there. Which is why when I have conversations with theists, I'm not really doing it to win that argument because, at the point of an argument, people are defensive. You're not really listening to what you're saying. But other people over here might be listening. And maybe one of those people would have the same discomforts I did. And my own conversation might be what encourages them to question the way that I questioned. And so that's why I believe that we should criticize and we should be vocal about it, at least to help some unfortunate fellow walking on the streets. Yeah, that's it.
All right, now thank you very much, Azili. So up next is is it back? Bright. Okay, still working on it. Okay, Precious, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Very loud and clear.
All right. Why should atheists bother criticizing religion? At this point, I'm still vexing. So I usually get triggered by little things like just because now there's this guy I used to go to like his side. So like he's always saying, "Oh, make God do this thing." You will just stay in one place and make God do this thing. He will pray. Like I will just try to explain, like when you pray, you are just talking to yourself. You just feel you've done something to achieve something, but you are not doing anything. So it's just like I want to start all this kind of talk. Oh. So I noticed something that when you try to say something that is like opposite to their belief, it's like an auto defense system. They just strike back at you. So you just, because there's nothing you say that will make sense to them. So and sorry, someone distracted me. Like the church I was attending before with my family,
the pastor there, his brother attends the church also. His brother has been married for over 6 years, no child. And they are still praying, like they are still doing open on one motherfucker that will come and bring child. And I was just be thinking, shit, these people know they think me, because I stopped going to the church for like 2 years now. Because since I started questioning and it wasn't making sense to me, I just stopped. They don't come, I know they go. So like these people are like, it's just like you don't just have to think, just believe, just be like a robot, like just don't have sense again. That's just how I see it. I've seen like plenty, like so many like examples, like even when I try to like maybe just share my idea with someone, we'll just be like open bring the Bible, this and that. There was this day, I was just staying outside my house, and one guy, a preacher, he came to me and like I was like, this someone preach. You don't know who you come meet today. So I started asking him questions. So like people now started gathering, like, because in the end they're like, omo, like say this one a devil, they come preach too. Because I was just questioning him, and he would just try to dodge it and start telling me that deep down I know in my heart, I know deep down in my mind, I know this. I was like, answer the damn question. You just start saying bullshit. And at the end, he was telling me I should come to his church and come and ask their pastors, like. And I was like, if you can't answer 2 plus 2 here, then how will you come and are you telling me to come and learn algebra in your church? So all these things, like I noticed something that once this faith thing, for it to work, that like you just have to off your brain to have faith. That's just like the pillar for it. That's just all I have to say now. Thank you.
All right, now. Thank you very much, Precious. Cannot teach algebra 2 plus 2. Shows what they are teaching them. Brighto, are you there?
So I'm here.
All right. So I think we can hear you now. All right.
You don't see now.
Yeah, it's better than before.
Okay. I'll say, why shouldn't we criticize them? Because just like they come to us to preach to us, we have to criticize them. Like I think show on the radio, and they were interviewing some children who are surviving childhood cancer, and one boy who got leukemia when he was 6, and the presenter asked the boy whether he
I can't hear you.
and
it's going in and out, man. I think it's going in and out too. Yeah. Just try and work our network, but although we are rounding up, Sha. Here you go in and come out. Let me just say a few things. Go in and come out again. Then one last try.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now I just wrote down a list of some reasons why we should criticize religion as atheists. 1, misogyny. The Bible is a foundation for misogyny. It has caused so many problems for women on this planet. Number 2, purity culture, which is a derivative of the misogyny. Purity culture is always focused on women's virginity. Checking of hymen. How did they check, say, penis down this virgin? It's always focused on the women. Number 3, LGBTQIA+. They are always under attack because the religious mind cannot understand what is going on. Number 4, it robs off robs us of our humanity. Like, it's people will justify anything in the name of religion. And one of the most annoying things is that liberal religious people are the air cover the fundamentalists use. You see the ISIS, the Boko Haram, you now see the liberal, the so-called liberal Muslims saying they are not real Muslims. Meanwhile, those fundamentalists are following the book to the T. They don't see you, the liberal one, as the real Muslim. But for some reason, your ego cannot let go of that ideology. So that's one of the reasons. Then religion is anti-science, just like some people have said, anti-science in the whole from evolution to comparison of the universe. Just look at the whole universe, how big it is. Now the whole Bible just covers a piece of an area in the Middle East, not even the whole Middle East. And yes, the earth is like a grain is like a grain of sand in comparison to a grain of sand on a beach in comparison to the whole universe, if not even more safe. And yet the God, the creator of the universe, could not even tell us that, hey, there was a moon, or there's a solar system. Yeah, you see in the Bible, you see where Joshua, who was the person fighting, where the sun stood still. So it was almost like the sun is going around the earth. It really shows the anti-science, how they had no idea. And yet 21st century human beings use that book as the guide for their life. So these are one of many, many reasons atheists should bother criticizing religion. So, Brian, do you want to try one last time? After that, we close for today. Joe, you want to add something?
Yeah, just a couple of points, really. On what you were saying about yeah, sure. First, on the LGBTQ thing, and this is one thing I always throw at Catholics in particular. You know, when you go into any Catholic church, you see that image of Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's in every Catholic church. A lot of Christians use that image. That image is actually based on Cesare Borgia, who was gay. And it was originally painted by Leonardo da Vinci, who was his gay lover. So da Vinci painted Cesare Borgia. Cesare Borgia's father became Pope and said they need to give a face to the concept of Jesus Christ. And he chose that painting of his gay son as the image of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right.
What a lot of Catholics don't realize is that they're so anti-LGBT, but the image of Jesus that they all revere is actually a gay man. So I lost my second point actually, but anyway, I just thought I'd bring that one up for a start.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's so ironic. Even King James himself is a member of the LGBTQ plus community. So how ironic. So it seems Bright's network is Yahweh is against you today, Bright. Okay.
Yeah, on the thing about the Yahweh and everything, sorry, just quickly.
Okay.
Is that those books were actually written by the Israelites. And at the time, every tribe had their own God.
Yeah.
So when the Israelites were writing those books, it was about our God was to prevent defection. Don't go to another tribe because our God is the most superior God. There were actually, if you go back to the Sumerians and everything, there were actually several gods, and Yahweh was only one God. Yahweh was a child of was it El? I can't remember the name now. Was one child of many of another God.
Yeah.
So the Israelites had Yahweh as their God. All the other tribes in the area had their own gods. So it was to create a sort of bond of unity that don't defect to another tribe, because our God will destroy you if you try to defect from us. So when we now take this Israelites book of one particular tribe as being the foundation of the whole universe and everything, it just shows the stupidity of it,
Yeah, and it's ironic that Christianity is actually a spin-off self. So and then Sabi. All right, so we have come to a close. Thank you everybody that contributed. Bright, devil will punish Yahweh in Lucifer's name next time, so that your network will work. Sorry about that. Free ticket. Okay, now. So everybody, thank you for coming. We are done. We can start leaving. We will end the room very soon. Follow the routes. Follow everybody on stage. Slide in DMs respectfully. And thank you for coming. Have a wonderful weekend and fake independence. All right, thank you for listening to this episode. If you are yet to subscribe, Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, any other place you listen to podcasts, and I hope to catch you on the next episode. Take care.